Have you ever felt like something inside you is changing? Like you're becoming more aware of your actions, your faith, or your connection to Allah? You've noticed a shift in how you see the world around you, or you feel more drawn to do good and strengthen your relationship with Allah. It's a feeling many people experience as they grow spiritually. In Islam, everyone has the potential to draw closer to Allah through their actions, their faith, and their taqwa, God consciousness. No one is chosen in the way some might think, but if you strive to live a life pleasing to Allah, you are chosen, in the sense that you are seeking His guidance. It's about being sincere in your worship and working on your connection with Allah. If you're feeling like things are shifting inside you, like you're more aware of your actions or your connection with Allah, you're not alone. In this video, we'll talk about 7 signs that might be happening in your life, showing you're on a path of growth. If any of these sound familiar, just know it's all part of your journey, and you're moving closer to the guidance and peace that Allah offers. Number 1. You feel more intuitive about what's right and wrong. You know how sometimes you just know when something feels off, like you're talking to someone, and suddenly your gut instinct is screaming, "This doesn't feel right." Or maybe you catch yourself saying something, and instantly you think, "Wait, that wasn't the best move." It's almost like a built-in radar going off, telling you when something's out of line. And then you realize, hold on, maybe you're not crazy after all. It's just that your sense of what's right and wrong has gotten sharper. You find yourself stepping back from people, situations, or even conversations, knowing deep down that it's not worth your time. It's like you've started to get better at seeing through the noise of today's world, the fake personas, the superficial chatter, and the distractions that pull everyone in different directions. And the truth? You've come to realize something important. You don't need to keep up with all that. You can keep to what matters, stick with the truth, and move away from what's toxic. Because at the end of the day, no one is going to answer for your choices but you. You're the one who will stand before Allah on the day of judgment, not them. And that's why you've started putting everything else aside, focusing only on what aligns with your faith and your values. It's not about impressing anyone anymore. It's about making the choices that give you peace of mind and help you stay on the right path. That's the real shift happening inside of you, and it's a clear sign of spiritual growth. Number 2, you start letting go of people who don't serve your peace. You know how it feels when you've been carrying certain people around in your life, but lately something just doesn't feel right about it. Maybe it's that friend who's always bringing drama, or someone who constantly drains your energy with negativity. You start to realize that no matter how much you try to make things work, the relationship just feels off, and it's not bringing anything positive to your life anymore. At first, it can be hard to let go of people you've known for a long time, or even those who are close to you. But there comes a point where you start asking yourself, why am I holding on to this? When you realize you're the one who's been carrying the weight of this relationship, it's a game changer. You begin to see that peace doesn't come from constantly dealing with toxic people. It comes from protecting your energy and putting your focus on what truly nurtures your soul. Islam teaches us that we should choose the company that supports us in doing good, staying grounded, and strengthening our faith. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "A person is on the way of his close friend, so look at who you make your close friend." It's not about cutting people off for no reason, but when you start realizing that certain relationships are only holding you back or pulling you into unhealthy patterns, it becomes clearer that peace comes from distancing yourself from those who don't contribute to your well-being. Sometimes letting go of people is the best thing you can do for yourself. Number 3, you begin questioning your old beliefs and habits. Have you ever found yourself suddenly questioning something you've always believed or done? You're sitting there and you think, wait, why did I think this way all this time? Why did I keep doing that? It's like your old habits, things you once accepted without a second thought, just don't sit right with you anymore. It's not about being rebellious or suddenly rejecting everything, but more about realizing that you've outgrown certain ways of thinking or living. Maybe you've started questioning the value of things that used to matter, like constantly chasing after material success or caring too much about how others perceive you. The more you reflect, the more you realize that these things weren't bringing you true fulfillment. You're beginning to see things for what they really are. And it feels a little like waking up from a fog. Islam encourages us to always be self-aware, to reflect on our actions, and constantly improve ourselves. The Quran reminds us, do not follow that of which you have no knowledge. Indeed, the hearing, the sight, and the heart, all of those will be asked about. Surah Al-Isra 17:36. This is a call to always question, reflect, and be aware of why we do what we do. It's not about blindly following the same patterns, but about recognizing the need to change and grow. And that realization, it's empowering. When you start to notice how much you've evolved, this shift in perspective is a clear sign that you're aligning more with the truth. Number 4, you feel less attached to the material world. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the race for more. More money, more things, more status. But if you've been noticing a shift in yourself, you might be feeling less attached to all of that. It's not that you don't enjoy nice things or the comforts of life, but you're starting to realize that they're not the be-all and end-all. Something inside you is telling you that there's more to life than what's on the surface. You might find yourself less excited about the latest trends or constantly comparing yourself to others. Instead, you start appreciating the simple things, the moments with family, the peace in your heart, and the blessings Allah has already given you. When you begin feeling this shift, it's a sign that you're moving away from the distractions of this world and focusing more on what really matters: your faith, your connection to Allah, and your inner peace. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Wealth is not measured by how much you possess, but by how content you are with what you have." This hadith reminds us that true wealth is not in accumulating possessions, but in being content with what Allah has given us. The issue isn't wealth itself, it's the attachment we have to it. If we use wealth in the right way, helping others, supporting causes like building mosques, aiding the poor, and using it to benefit others, it's actually a good thing. However, when wealth becomes the central focus of our lives, and we seek it through unlawful means or use it selfishly, that's when it becomes a problem. So, if you've been feeling less caught up in the chase for material gain and more at peace with the things you have, know that this shift is a sign of spiritual growth. You're beginning to see the bigger picture, and that's a beautiful thing. Number 5, you start to value time more than anything else. You know that feeling when time seems to slip through your fingers and suddenly you're thinking, where did the day go? In the past, maybe you didn't think twice about spending hours on distractions, scrolling through social media, wasting time on things that didn't matter. But now, you're realizing just how precious every moment is. When you start valuing time, you see it as a gift from Allah, one that should not be wasted. It's not just about being busy, it's about being intentional with how you use your time. You begin to prioritize what truly matters, like strengthening your faith, spending time with loved ones, and doing good for others. You start feeling that time is something you need to make the most of, because at the end of the day, it's the one thing you can never get back. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "There are two blessings which many people lose, health and free time. This hadith reminds us that time is a precious blessing, and we should be mindful of how we spend it. Instead of letting time slip away on things that don't serve your purpose or your connection to Allah, you start seeing how every moment counts. Whether it's using your time for prayer, reflection, or doing good deeds, you begin to realize that how you use your time is what truly shapes your life. As you start to value your time more, you naturally begin to live with more purpose. And that sense of purpose helps keep you grounded and focused on the things that really matter. Number 6, you start to feel more at peace with the present moment. Have you ever caught yourself worrying about the future or regretting the past? It's something we all do. But lately, it seems like you're starting to find peace in the present moment. You're not so anxious about what's coming next, and you're not stuck in what could have been. You've realized that what matters most is right now. When you start to live more in the present, it's like a weight has been lifted. You stop stressing about things you can't control and let go of unnecessary worries. Instead of always thinking about what's next or what you've missed, you start focusing on what's in front of you. You find comfort in knowing that Allah is in control, and all you can do is your best, right here, right now. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Live for the present moment, for the future is uncertain, and the past is gone." This hadith encourages us to embrace the moment we're in, to not dwell too much on what's behind or ahead. When you live fully in the present, you start to feel more connected to your purpose and to Allah, who is with you in every moment. You're learning to trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and that by focusing on the now, you are walking the path that Allah has laid out for you. If you've been feeling more at peace in the present moment, that's a sign that you're starting to align with the rhythm of life and with Allah's plan. And that peace is a beautiful part of your journey. Number 7, you begin to let go of the need for approval from others. In a world where everyone's opinions seem to matter, it's natural to crave validation, especially from those around you, friends, family, or even strangers online. But there's a shift happening, and you've probably noticed it. You no longer feel the need to constantly seek approval or measure your worth based on what others think of you. Instead, you're starting to feel more comfortable in your own skin, focusing more on what pleases Allah than on trying to impress others. The more you align yourself with your faith, the less you care about what others think. It's like a quiet confidence grows within you, knowing that your value is not defined by social standards, but by your actions, your faith, and your connection with Allah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "When Allah loves a servant, He calls Jibril and says, 'I love so-and-so, so love him.' Jibril then loves him and calls out to the inhabitants of the heavens, 'Allah loves so-and-so, so love him.' And the inhabitants of the heavens love him, and then acceptance is placed for him on earth." This hadith highlights the true source of approval, the love of Allah. When you start living for His approval and not for the approval of anyone else, your life shifts. You realize that if Allah is pleased with you, that's all that truly matters. You stop chasing external validation, and instead you seek to do what brings you closer to Him. This shift is freeing. You begin to live authentically, doing what feels right for you and your faith, not based on others' expectations. And in that freedom, you'll find a peace that no amount of external approval can ever give. My dear brothers and sisters, as we've explored these signs together, it's clear that you're on a transformative journey. If you've been noticing shifts in your heart, questioning your old habits, or feeling more at peace with the present moment, these are all signs of a deeper connection with Allah. You're not imagining things. This is part of your growth, and it's something truly beautiful. Remember, you don't have to chase approval from others or get lost in the distractions of this world. Your worth is defined by your sincerity, your faith, and your actions. As you focus more on what pleases Allah, you'll find that the things that once mattered, like material success or seeking others' validation, become less significant. The peace that comes from being true to yourself and your faith is priceless. If this message resonated with you, comment, Ya Allah, guide me below. Your words might just inspire someone else who's on a similar path. And don't forget, liking and subscribing helps us keep sharing these reminders that bring us closer to Allah. May Allah guide you, protect your heart, and keep you steadfast on this beautiful journey. Ameen.